Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to start chapter number 7 of D1. This chapter deals with sequence and series and patterns. Name of this chapter is number patterns, but first we will see that which topics are included in 7A exercise. 7A and 7B. There are two exercises of this chapter. 7A deals with sequence and series and how to define a rule, how to write down the rule. Number two, how to deal with the different type of sequences. And 7B deals with the complicated sequences plus how to deal with the different patterns. So let's start with the 7A exercise. First of all, we will see what is a sequence. A sequence is basically a particular set of numbers which are governed by certain mechanism. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8 and onwards. This dot dot means it is never ending. It means up to infinity. This is a particular sequence. There are few things which we must know. Number one, terms. What are the terms? 2, 4, 6, 8. These are called as terms of a sequence. We don't call them numbers or we don't call them digits. So these are the terms. You may say this is T1, T2, T3 and onwards till infinity. As we know that we know its starting point but we don't know its ending point. So the last term is not known, so we call it Tn. N means the last term, right? So basically it is up to infinity, its ending is not known. That's why we call it Tn, the last term. Next, its position, which is very important. So over here we will write position. Position means what? Position are the boxes in which these digits or these terms have been placed. So these positions are fixed for every question. I'll call it 1, first, second, third, fourth, up to what? Up to infinity, or we call it up to n. Because we don't write infinity, it is just for the sake of understanding, but basically it's never ending. So what would be the last position? It would be n. Nth position is the last position. So these are the position 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n, and these are the terms T1 to T2 and T3 and onwards. Third, which is most important thing, how the sequence is being built up. This sequence is having plus 2 each time. Every time we are adding plus 2 in it. We will also deal that what are the types of sequences. Today we will see what is a sequence, how the sequence is built up. Number 2, what are the different types of the sequences, and number 3, what are the rules. So let me write down the things which we are going to do. What is a sequence? Number 2, what are its types? And number 3, what are the rules? So first we are dealing with the sequence. So this number is going to be added. At this stage, I am just telling you what these numbers stands for. So this is basically common difference. We call it common difference. We don't call it that the number is going to be added, or we don't call it that it is being subtracted. That is a mechanism. Plus 2 is basically a mechanism. This sequence is being built up on this mechanism, but this digit is basically called as common difference. So from this discussion till now, we have learned 3 points. Number 1. Point number 1 is these numbers are called as terms. So first important point is terms. These are called as T1 to T1, T2, T3 up to the last term which is called as Tn. Clear? Point number 2, these are the positions. Position starts from 1, 2, 3 up to nth position, which is the last position. And the third point is the number which is continuously adding, or for example there could be minus 2 as well, or it could be multiplied by 2 or divided by 2. The number which is basically adding in the previous term to get the next term, that is called as the common difference. Right? Next we are going to deal what are the types. So generally speaking, there are two broad categories of the number sequences. One is called as increasing sequences and the second one is known as decreasing sequences. Why we are doing the types? The reason is very simple. When you are going to write down the rules or you are going to find out the rules on which the sequences are being built up, you must know that whether the sequence is increasing or in a decreasing pattern. So how we can check it out, the whether the sequence is increasing? Point number 1, numbers will always be gradually in an increasing order or in ascending order. Numbers would definitely be in ascending order. Contrary to this, numbers would be in descending order. What does it mean? Numbers are gradually increasing from smaller to the bigger number on a number line. And over here, the numbers are gradually decreasing, starting from the bigger number to the smaller number onwards. Number 2, once we have visually observed that the number is gradually increasing or in ascending order, so then we will check it out that which operation could it be. After this, we have to understand that whether the ascending order is being governed by addition or multiplication. So basically increasing sequences are built up by two operations, addition or multiplication. So I will let you know, or we will say how we can differentiate whether the sequence is being based on addition or multiplication. If the difference between the numbers are very small, or if it is not too large, for example 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, there is a sequence and the difference is just plus 2, or if the sequence is like 1 plus 1 plus 1 every time, or for example plus 3 every time, not more than plus 3. So if the difference is small, it would definitely be governed by the addition operation. And if the difference is uneven, for example if there is a difference of 4, then there is a difference of 8, then 16, then 34 and onwards, the difference is ultimately increasing, or uneven difference, then it would definitely be governed by the multiplication. Let me quote an example. For example, you can see 2, 4, 6, 8 and onwards. You can see here, this is increasing sequence. Why? Because the numbers are in ascending order, they are gradually increasing. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I have to find out whether addition is the background in the background or multiplication is working on the background. So how I can check it out? Subtracting second and first term, difference is plus 2. Then subtracting third and second term, the difference is plus 2, and so on. I came to know that every time we are actually subtracting, every time we are adding 2 in the previous term to get the next term. Next we have to see about the multiplication. See, for example, I have a sequence 1, then 2, 4, 8, 16 and onwards. Now you can see, first we are having the difference of 1, then there is a difference of 3, difference of 2, then difference of 4, then difference of 8 and onwards. It means the difference is changing every time. So I have to check whether multiplication would be the background. Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. 1 into 2, 2. 2 into 2, 4. 4 into 2, 8. 8 into 2, 16. It means that it is governed by multiplication. Next we have to see the decreasing sequence. So let's see. Decreasing sequence are also governed by two rules, two operations, subtraction and division. For example, 100, 90, 80, 70 and onwards. You can see the numbers are descending in a descending order. So check it out. From 100 to 90, we have subtracted 10, minus 10. 90 to 80, minus 10, minus 10. Every time you are subtracting 10. So it means that you are subtracting 10 from each term to get the next term. But if the difference is very huge, for example, somewhat similar example, 100, then 50, then 25 and onwards. See, the difference is very huge. 100 to 50, there is a 50 numbers jump. Then from 50 to 25, 25 difference. So the difference is uneven. So when I checked, I came to know that 100 divided by 2 would give us 50. Then again divided by 2 would give us 25 and onwards. So this is how we check it out, that which operation is in the background. So in short, we have understood that there are broadly two types of the sequences, increasing and decreasing. In increasing, we have two main things. Whether the increasing sequence is built up on the basis of addition or on the basis of multiplication, and the numbers are in ascending order. And in decreasing sequences, either the operation is subtraction or division, and the numbers would be in descending order. Now we will learn how to write down the rule. For example, if I have a sequence like 1, 3, 5, 7 and onwards. First I'll check it out that what type of sequence is this. This is an increasing sequence which is governed by addition. Plus 2, again plus 2, again plus 2. So I will write down the rule as start with 1, then add plus 2 in each term to get the next term. Start with 1, then add plus 2 in each term to get the next term. So this is how we write down the rule. So in rule, what we should understand all the time, we always write down start with, that from where the sequences have been started. Start with T1, whatever the T1 is, then add or then subtract or then multiply or then divide with certain number in each term to get the next term. So in this particular sequence, we have learned that in every term we are adding plus 2, and we always write down the rule as start with whatever the term 1 is, start with 1, then add plus 2 in each term to get the next term. That was all about this first video. We have done 3 points: sequences. What are the sequences? what are its different types, and how we write down the rules. That was all about this introductory video. In our next video, we will see different questions from exercise 7a, and we will have basic, intermediate and advanced level questions. Thank you so much for watching.